I manifested 18 million by putting this number in my wallet. There is a hidden power within you, an unseen force that shapes your world in the quiet chambers of your mind. It is your imagination, the sacred womb where all creation begins. I want to share with you how I manifested 18 million simply by placing a number in my wallet, and how this simple act transformed my entire reality. The first step is to understand that the number itself is not magic. It is a symbol, a tangible representation of a state of consciousness. When I wrote 18 million on a small piece of paper and placed it inside my wallet, I was not just carrying numbers, I was carrying my belief, my feeling of already having it. You see, it is not about the external act alone. The secret lies in feeling that this number is already mine. I closed my eyes and imagined the life of abundance, freedom, and joy that comes with having 18 million. I felt the weight of that reality, the excitement, the peace, the gratitude. I embraced the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This feeling carried me through days and nights when doubt tried to sneak in. I returned to that feeling again and again, allowing it to grow stronger, deeper, until it became my unshakable faith. Faith is the quiet certainty that no matter what the outer world shows, your inner world is true and inevitable. By carrying the number in my wallet, I anchored this faith. Each time I reached for my wallet, I was reminded of my inner vision. It kept me aligned with the reality I desired, a constant beacon in a world that often tries to tell you otherwise. And then the miracle happened. The outer world conformed to the inner vision. Opportunities arose, doors opened, and one by one the pieces fell into place. The 18 million was no longer a number in my wallet. It was a living reality. The power to manifest lies within you. It is not about forcing or struggling, but about relaxing into the state of having already received. Let your imagination be vivid, your feelings sincere, and your faith unbreakable. Carry your vision close, whether it is a number, a word, or a symbol that resonates with your desire. Let it be your anchor and your reminder that what you imagine and feel deeply is yours already. You do not manifest by chasing after what you want. You manifest by becoming the person who already has it. By embodying that state in every fiber of your being. So, I encourage you today, find your number, your symbol, your representation of your desire. Place it close to you. Feel it as yours now. Live in the end and watch as your world shifts, rearranges, and gives you what your heart has already claimed. Because what you hold in your imagination and feel with conviction is your reality in waiting. Your imagination is not just a fleeting mental activity or a way to escape reality. It is the very source, the fertile soil from which all realities are born. Every circumstance, every event, every condition that you see around you began first as an idea, a picture, or a feeling in someone's mind. Your imagination is the unseen architect of your life. When you learn to use it consciously, you begin to understand that you are not a passive observer of your existence, but an active creator. Imagine for a moment the power that lies in the images you hold within. These images are not mere fantasies or wishful thinking. They are the blueprints of your future. When you hold a clear, vivid picture of what you desire, your mind begins to work behind the scenes, organizing, adjusting, and drawing opportunities to manifest that vision. Your imagination is like a seed planted deep in the ground. At first it seems invisible, powerless. But with attention and care, it grows and breaks through the surface to become your lived experience. The key is not just to imagine casually, but to embrace your vision with emotion and belief. Thought alone is a spark, but feeling is the fuel that ignites the fire of manifestation. When you vividly imagine your desired reality and emotionally accept it as true, you impress it deeply upon your subconscious mind. This is where the transformation takes place. The subconscious does not know the difference between what is real and what is imagined with feeling. It accepts the images and emotions you give it as facts and moves to bring them into physical form. This process is continuous and automatic. The images you repeatedly entertain with emotion shape your expectations, influence your decisions, and guide your actions, even in ways you are not consciously aware of. If your imagination dwells on lack, limitation, or failure, your reality will reflect those themes. But if you nourish your mind with vivid, positive images of success, abundance, and joy, your life will inevitably begin to reflect those qualities. To truly harness this power, you must become deliberate about what you imagine. Your imagination must be disciplined and focused. It is not about daydreaming or fleeting fantasies, but about consistently choosing the inner picture you want to live out. This means cultivating a clear mental scene of your desire fulfilled. It means feeling the reality of that desire as if it were already true, living in the end result rather than the present lack. When you do this, your imagination becomes a magnetic force, drawing to you people, circumstances, and opportunities that correspond to the state you are embodying. It rearranges your external world to match your inner reality. You begin to notice synchronicities, intuitive insights, and effortless progress that seem to confirm your new inner state. Many people misunderstand the role of imagination because they treat it as a passive escape or an idle pastime. But imagination is the divine tool you have been given to create your destiny. It is not limited by current conditions or logical constraints. It transcends time and space because it operates on the level of spirit and consciousness. What you imagine with feeling today, you will experience tomorrow. Therefore, protect your imagination as you would a precious treasure. Guard it against doubt, fear, and negativity. Instead, feed it with faith, hope, and gratitude. Make a daily practice of revisiting your vision with enthusiasm and certainty. Let your imagination be a sanctuary where your dreams live and breathe until they take form. The world you see around you is but a reflection of the world you carry within. Your imagination is the seed, and your feeling is the water and sunlight that nurture it. Together they bring forth the harvest of your desires. So choose your images wisely. Imagine not what is, but what could be. Imagine yourself already living the life you want, feeling the emotions you would feel if your dreams were fulfilled. This is the creative act that shapes your future and transforms your present. In this way, your imagination is truly the seed of reality, the first step in the miraculous journey from thought to form, from desire to manifestation. When you understand and live this truth, you hold the power to create anything you wish. Thinking about your desire is the starting point, but it is only the beginning of the process of creation. The true secret to bringing your dreams into reality lies not in mere thoughts, but in the feeling, the deep living emotion of already having what you want. Feeling is the language of the subconscious mind, the power that transforms abstract ideas into concrete realities. Without feeling, thoughts remain lifeless and powerless. With feeling, they become the very force that shapes your world. When you think about your desire, your mind may understand what you want, but the subconscious requires something more, a feeling that convinces it the desire is already fulfilled. The subconscious does not reason or analyze. It simply accepts what you impress upon it through feeling as truth. Therefore, the moment you feel the reality of your desire, as if it is already yours, you plant a seed deep within your being that begins to grow and manifest. Feeling is like the invisible thread that connects your inner world with the outer world. It creates a magnetic pull that draws circumstances, opportunities, and people into your life in perfect alignment with the state you have embodied. If you only think about your goal without feeling it, your energy is scattered and manifestation is delayed. But when your emotions vibrate with the certainty, joy, and satisfaction of having your desire, you send out a powerful signal to the universe that what you want is no longer a distant hope. It is your present reality. Joy and conviction are two of the most potent feelings you can embody. Joy lifts your vibration and opens the channels for abundance to flow freely. Conviction removes doubt and hesitation, solidifying your belief in the inevitable arrival of your desire. When these feelings permeate your being, they create a state of readiness within you. You become a match to the reality you wish to experience, and manifestation becomes a natural and effortless process. Many people get stuck in wishing and hoping because they fail to grasp the importance of feeling. They imagine what they want intellectually, but they do not allow themselves to experience the emotions that come with having it. This creates a gap between their conscious desire and subconscious acceptance. The subconscious remains loyal to what it feels to be true. And if you cannot genuinely feel that your desire is fulfilled, it will not act to manifest it. To cultivate the feeling of your desire fulfilled, you must practice living in the end. This means mentally and emotionally placing yourself in the state where your wish is already accomplished. Close your eyes and imagine a scene that implies your desire is true. Feel the emotions that come naturally: peace, happiness, gratitude, excitement, and dwell on them until they fill your entire being. Make this feeling so real that it overshadows any present lack or doubt. The power of feeling is further amplified by repetition and persistence. The more you return to this state, the stronger it becomes. Eventually, your subconscious accepts it as your new reality and begins to organize your life accordingly. You will find that your thoughts, actions, and external circumstances start to align perfectly with the feeling you have cultivated. Feeling is also the secret to overcoming obstacles and delays. When challenges arise, it is easy to lose faith and revert to negative emotions. But if you hold steadfast to the feeling of your fulfilled desire, you maintain the vibration of your goal and prevent setbacks from derailing your manifestation. Feeling anchors your belief and keeps your creative power active and focused. In truth, feeling is the bridge between imagination and physical manifestation. It is the dynamic force that breathes life into your mental images and brings them into form. Without feeling, imagination remains a silent dream. With feeling, it becomes a living reality. Therefore, do not underestimate the importance of your emotional state. Treat your feelings as the secret currency of creation. Invest in the emotions of your fulfilled desires. Delight in the sensation of having what you want as if it is already yours, and watch how effortlessly your world reshapes itself in response. When you grasp this secret fully, you realize that your feelings are not random reactions, but deliberate tools for creation. By mastering your feelings, you master your destiny. The reality you seek is already present in your feeling. Your task is simply to nurture it with unwavering joy and conviction until it appears in your life. To live in the end means to place yourself fully and completely in the state where your desire is already fulfilled. It is not about hoping or wishing for the future. It is about embodying the reality of your desire in the present moment. This principle is the cornerstone of creation. When you mentally and emotionally assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you align your entire being with the reality you want to experience. You become a living embodiment of your desire, and in doing so, you draw it naturally into your life. Most people live their lives looking outward, reacting to circumstances and waiting for external proof before they allow themselves to feel happy or successful. They say, I will be happy when I get that job, or I will feel wealthy when I see money in my bank account. This is living in the effect rather than the cause. It puts the power outside of yourself and keeps you dependent on the changing conditions of the world. Living in the end, on the other hand, turns this logic upside down. It invites you to start from the cause, the inner feeling of having your desire fulfilled, and from that place, the external reality will follow. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you enter a mental and emotional state that is identical to what you would experience if your desire were already real. You feel the joy, the satisfaction, the gratitude, and the peace that come from having what you want. Your mind no longer dwells on lack, but rests in the certainty of abundance. This is not pretending or wishful thinking. It is a conscious, deliberate act of faith and imagination. It is a state of being where your desire exists as an undeniable fact within your inner world. This mental assumption changes everything. Your subconscious mind, which governs your beliefs and habits, accepts this state as true and begins to act upon it. It influences your behavior, your choices, and even your perception of reality. You begin to notice opportunities, ideas, and people that support your desire. Doors open effortlessly, and your path becomes clear. The external world reflects the inner reality you have embraced. Living in the end requires discipline and persistence. Your outer circumstances may not change immediately, but you must continue to dwell in the feeling of fulfillment. This is like planting a seed and nurturing it patiently until it sprouts and grows. If you allow doubt, impatience, or negative thoughts to creep in, you weaken the state you have created. Instead, return often to the feeling of your wish fulfilled, revisiting the mental scenes that evoke the emotions of success and satisfaction. It is helpful to create vivid mental images that imply your desire is real. Imagine a scene that would naturally occur if your goal had already been accomplished. Engage all your senses. See the colors, hear the sounds, feel the textures, and immerse yourself in the experience fully. As you do this, the feeling of the end state becomes more powerful and convincing. You train your mind to accept this reality as natural and inevitable. The power of living in the end is that it changes your identity. Instead of being someone who is striving or lacking, you become someone who already has and is. This shift in identity is profound because your outer world always matches your inner self. When you identify with the fulfilled state, your life will align accordingly. Many struggle because they want their desires but refuse to feel the reality of having them now. They place their happiness and success in the future, but the future is shaped by the present state of consciousness. To manifest what you want, you must live as if it is already here. This is not arrogance or delusion. It is understanding the natural law of creation. In this way, living in the end is a daily practice. It requires commitment to your inner vision and faith in its inevitability. It is an act of love and trust toward yourself and the unseen creative force that moves the universe. When you fully assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and live from that place, your desires no longer remain distant hopes. They become your present reality. Your world shifts and you find yourself naturally stepping into the life you have imagined. The secret is simple. Become what you want to be now and watch as the universe reflects that truth back to you. Faith is not merely a hopeful feeling or a casual wish. It is an unshakable belief that what you desire already exists for you, regardless of what your current circumstances might appear to be. It is a deep, quiet knowing that transcends logic, reason, and visible evidence. Faith stands firm even when the world around you seems to contradict your hopes, when challenges arise, or when there is no apparent sign of your desire manifesting. This steadfast belief is the foundation upon which all creation is built. Many people confuse faith with blind optimism or wishful thinking, but true faith is far more profound and powerful. It is not dependent on fleeting emotions or temporary conditions. It does not waver with setbacks or disappointments. Instead, it is a deep conviction, rooted in the certainty of your inner knowing. Faith is the internal assurance that your desire is already fulfilled in the unseen real, and that what you hold as true within your consciousness will inevitably be reflected in your outer world. When you cultivate this kind of faith, you begin to live from a place of calm confidence rather than anxious hope. Your mind is no longer tossed about by doubt or fear. Instead, you rest in the knowledge that the creative forces of the universe are working in your favor. This unshakable belief acts as a magnetic force, drawing to you all the people, circumstances, and opportunities necessary for your desire to come into form. Faith is not a passive state, but an active and deliberate choice. It requires you to hold your vision steady, especially in moments of uncertainty. When external conditions seem to challenge your dreams, faith becomes the anchor that keeps you grounded in your truth. It is the quiet strength that whispers, "This is already done," even when your senses say otherwise. One of the greatest challenges in developing this faith is learning to detach from the evidence of the senses. Our natural tendency is to believe only what we see, hear, or touch. But the creative power you wield comes from another realm, a realm beyond the physical and temporal. Faith invites you to trust this invisible world more than the visible one. It asks you to see your desire as already real, even if your present circumstances suggest the opposite. Faith also requires patience. Manifestation may not happen on your timeline, and sometimes the process involves unseen adjustments and growth. But when your belief is unshakable, you remain steady and untroubled. You understand that the timing is perfect and that every delay or obstacle is simply part of the divine unfolding of your desire. This quiet knowing does not shout or demand. It rests gently but firmly in your heart. It is accompanied by peace rather than anxiety. When you hold this faith, you no longer wrestle with the how or when. You simply know that what you want is yours, and that realization is enough to sustain you. Faith transforms your inner world, and as your inner world changes, your outer world follows. The vibrations you emit when you believe deeply in your fulfilled desire align you with the reality you seek. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions become consistent with the state of having what you want, creating a powerful coherence that the universe responds to. Living with unshakable faith means no longer being swayed by temporary setbacks or negative reports from the outside world. Instead, you maintain a steady focus on your inner vision. You remind yourself that appearances are fleeting and that truth lies beyond the surface. Your faith becomes a shield, protecting your dreams from the erosion of doubt and fear. Faith is the bridge between your present reality and the reality you desire. It is the unwavering belief that connects your inner state of consciousness to the eventual manifestation of your dreams. When you embrace faith fully, you step into your creative power and become a master of your own destiny. Faith is not earned or achieved through struggle. It is simply chosen. It is a decision to trust in the unseen, to believe in the invisible, and to live as if your desire is already yours. This choice opens the door to miracles and transforms your entire experience of life. With faith as your foundation, nothing can stand in the way of your manifestation. Symbolic acts have a profound power to influence the mind and anchor your beliefs in a tangible way. When you perform a physical act, such as writing a number that represents your desire and carrying it with you, you create a bridge between the abstract world of thought and the concrete world of reality. This simple gesture acts as a physical reminder of your inner conviction and helps reinforce the mental and emotional state you need to manifest your desires. It is a method of making the invisible visible, a way to express your belief outwardly and strengthen it inwardly. Our minds respond strongly to symbols because they carry meaning beyond their immediate appearance. When you take the time to write down your desire in the form of a number or a word, you are translating your intention into a form that your subconscious mind can grasp more easily. This physical representation becomes a focal point, a kind of talisman that carries your mental energy and conviction wherever you go. It acts as a constant trigger, reminding you of your wish fulfilled and helping you maintain the feeling that your desire is already real. Carrying such a symbol in your wallet or on your person serves multiple purposes. First, it keeps your desire close to you, literally within reach. This proximity helps maintain a continuous connection to your inner state, even amidst the distractions and challenges of daily life. Whenever you see or touch the symbol, you are reminded to return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. This repetition deepens the impression in your subconscious mind, which does not distinguish between the symbolic and the real. It accepts what is impressed upon it through feeling and repetition as true. Second, the symbolic act helps combat doubt and distraction. In moments when uncertainty creeps in or external circumstances seem discouraging, the presence of your physical symbol can bring you back to your center. It anchors your belief, steadying your emotions and preventing you from slipping into doubt or negativity. By grounding your mental state in something you can touch and see, you create a refuge for your faith to remain strong. This technique also taps into the ancient human practice of ritual and symbolism, which has been used throughout history to focus intention and harness spiritual power. When you create and carry a symbol of your desire, you are participating in a timeless tradition of making intention concrete. This ritualistic element strengthens your commitment and signals to your subconscious mind that your desire is important and worthy of attention. Symbolic acts help align your conscious and subconscious minds. Often the conscious mind may waver or get caught up in logical doubts, but the subconscious mind responds powerfully to symbols and feelings. By associating a physical object with your desire, you bypass the barriers of intellectual resistance and speak directly to the part of your mind that creates your reality. This alignment accelerates manifestation because your entire being moves in harmony with your goal. It is important that the symbol you choose feels personal and meaningful to you. Whether it is a number, a word, a drawing, or even a small object, it must resonate with your intention and evoke the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The more significance you invest in the symbol, the stronger its anchoring effect will be. This is why carrying a written number, such as a specific amount of money you desire, can be so powerful. It condenses your vision into a clear, focused point that your mind can return to effortlessly. In practical terms, the symbolic act is a simple yet effective tool for sustaining your mental state. It does not replace the inner work of imagining and feeling your desire fulfilled, but it complements and supports it. It acts as a daily reminder and a steadying influence, making it easier to maintain faith and focus in the face of distractions or challenges. Symbolic acts are about creating a seamless connection between your inner world and your outer reality. They remind you that your desire is not just a fleeting thought, but a living intention that you carry with you at every moment. By anchoring your belief through physical symbols, you deepen your conviction and empower the creative forces within you to bring your dreams into manifestation. Persistence is the quiet, relentless force that bridges the gap between your inner vision and your outer reality. It is the commitment to keep your desire alive in your mind and heart, no matter what distractions, doubts, or discouragements the world may throw at you. True persistence means holding fast to the image of your wish, fulfilled through the night and day, in moments of clarity and in moments of uncertainty. It is this unwavering dedication that ultimately brings your dream from the realm of imagination into physical form. Often, the greatest challenge in manifestation is not in conceiving the desire, but in sustaining the mental and emotional state long enough for it to materialize. The world is filled with voices, external and internal, that question, criticize, or dismiss your dreams. Circumstances may seem contrary, and results may be slow to appear. Yet persistence calls you to stand firm beyond all evidence and maintain the certainty that your vision is true and will be realized. Persistence requires more than just occasional hope or effort. It demands daily attention and conscious nurturing of your inner state. It means returning to your vision consistently, especially when the outer world tempts you to give up. This is not blind stubbornness, but a steady faith that no matter how long it takes, your inner reality must be honored and protected. The moment you relax this hold, doubt creeps in and begins to unravel the fabric of your manifestation. Living persistently through the night and day means integrating your desire into every aspect of your consciousness. It is a continuous thread woven into your thoughts, feelings, and actions. You do not compartmentalize your vision as something distant or separate. Instead, you carry it with you like a flame that never extinguishes. This flame illuminates your path and shapes your perception of every experience. No matter how mundane or challenging, your mind and subconscious are impressionable and respond deeply to repetition and consistency. The more persistently you impress your vision upon yourself, the more it becomes embedded in your being. Your subconscious mind begins to work behind the scenes, aligning your habits, beliefs, and even your environment to match this new reality. It orchestrates synchronicities, ideas, and opportunities that propel you forward. Without persistence, this inner work remains incomplete, and your manifestation remains distant. At times, persistence may feel difficult. You may experience moments of fatigue, doubt, or discouragement. These moments are natural, but they must not define your journey. Instead, they become invitations to deepen your commitment and renew your focus. When you feel the urge to stray or give up, remind yourself that persistence is not about how quickly you receive your desire, but about staying true to the vision until it manifests fully. It helps to develop daily habits that reinforce your persistence. This could be a morning meditation where you see yourself living your fulfilled desire, an evening reflection that solidifies your faith, or a simple act like carrying a symbolic reminder of your goal. These consistent practices anchor your mind and heart to the reality you are creating, making it easier to resist the pull of doubt or distraction. Persistence is not about forcing or struggling against reality. It is about steady, patient faith combined with inspired action. It requires trust that the unseen creative forces are working on your behalf, even when the results are not yet visible. Your role is to keep the inner image bright and alive, allowing the manifestation to unfold naturally in its perfect timing. Persistence, through night and day, transforms you. It builds resilience, deepens your faith, and strengthens your creative power. It changes your identity from someone who merely wishes to someone who knows. It shifts your consciousness into alignment with your fulfilled desire so completely that nothing can shake your certainty. The world will reflect what you persist in mentally and emotionally. The outer reality is a mirror of your inner state. If you persist in living and feeling as if your desire is already accomplished, the world must adjust to that truth. The doors will open, the circumstances will align, and the people you need will come forward. Your persistence makes this inevitable. Never underestimate the power of persistence. It is the silent engine behind every great manifestation. When you keep your vision alive no matter what, you become unstoppable. You demonstrate that your faith is not a fleeting thought, but a powerful force that commands reality to reshape itself according to your deepest knowing. This is the true secret of creation. To persist through the night and day, holding fast through your vision until it stands revealed in the world outside. In closing, Remember that the power to create your reality lies within you, through imagination, feeling, faith, symbolic acts, and unwavering persistence. When you fully embrace these principles, you align yourself with the invisible forces that bring your desires into form. Trust the process. Live as if your wish is already fulfilled, and hold steadfast to your vision no matter the circumstances. Your outer world will inevitably reflect the reality you cultivate within. Thank you for allowing me to share this message with you today. May it inspire you to take bold steps toward the life you truly desire and deserve. Keep believing, keep imagining, and keep manifesting. There is a secret many people miss, not because it is hidden, but because it is simple. You have been told to think positively, to visualize, to write affirmations, but few ever told you this. None of it works unless you feel it. I am here to teach you how to feel it. Because once you learn, the world will yield to your touch. You must learn to feel from the end, not of it. There is a difference. Feeling of the end keeps it at a distance. You say, one day I'll have it, but feeling from the end means it is already mine. Close your eyes now, not to escape the world, but to command it. Imagine your desire fulfilled. See the scene clearly. But now go deeper. How does it feel? What's in your heart? Is it calm? Is it joy? Is it gratitude? If not, you are only playing with shadows. But if your chest expands, your spine straightens, and tears nearly come, not from sadness, but from realization, then you are there. You are in the state. That state is the only thing you must seek. For when you dwell in the state, the facts of your life will bend to match it. Your senses may argue, your bank account may mock you, your surroundings may look unchanged. But ignore them. The outer world is always late to the party your inner world began. You must persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Feel it before you see it. Feel it until you cannot unfeel it. And then, quietly, the world will echo back what you accepted as true. It may seem mysterious, but it is law. The universe responds to your inner conviction, not your outward complaint. So feel rich, feel loved, feel successful, feel chosen. How to feel it? Not with effort, but with surrender. Not with force, but with faith. Do not try to manipulate the how or the when. That is not your concern. Your only task is this: assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and dwell there. If you can feel it, you can live it. And if you persist in that feeling long enough, the world has no choice. It must mirror you back. Your world does not change simply because you wish it to. It does not transform through idle thoughts or half-hearted daydreams. The power lies not in the thought itself, but in the feeling that breathes life into the thought. Feeling is the secret bridge between what is invisible and what becomes visible. It is the sacred passageway between the unseen and the seen, the internal and the external, the desire and the manifestation. You can sit in silence for hours, repeating affirmations. You can visualize a beautiful life in your mind's eye. But if there is no emotional charge, if your heart does not stir, if your spirit does not rise in response, then all you've done is entertain an idea. The idea remains hollow, untouched by the power that could have made it real. It is the feeling that gives it weight, gravity, and substance. To think, I am wealthy, without feeling wealthy is to walk in circles. You may say the words, but if your inner self contradicts them, if your stomach tightens in fear when you open your bank account, or your breath shortens at the sight of a bill, then you are not truly creating. You are affirming lack even as you speak abundance. Your emotional state is your creative state. It is your inner world that sets the tone and pattern for the outer world to follow. The universe is not listening to your words. It is responding to your vibration. And that vibration is shaped entirely by how you feel. This is why the truth cannot be found through logic alone. The mind may argue, it may present all the reasons why something cannot happen. But when a feeling arises that says, it is already done, the mind falls silent. Feeling bypasses logic. It does not beg for approval or permission. It declares, it knows. Think about something you truly love. A person, a moment, a place that brought you peace. You do not think your way into that memory. You feel it. And when you feel it, it becomes real again, even if just for a moment. The body reacts. The heart softens. The eyes may well with tears. Why? Because feeling makes the invisible tangible. Likewise, to create your future, you must enter into the emotional experience of it now. Not later, not after the condition changes, but now. If you would be loved, feel the warmth of love now. Walk as though you are cherished. Move as though you are seen. Speak as though someone is listening to your soul. If you desire freedom, then let freedom become your present atmosphere, not tomorrow. Now, feel the release, the space, the lightness of having already arrived. It is this feeling that instructs your subconscious mind. And your subconscious is the womb of reality. It does not argue or judge. It only accepts the feeling as fact and moves mountains to match the inner with the outer. You must feel it in the marrow of your being, not just in the surface of the mind. Let it drop down into your chest, into your belly, into your bones. Let it become more real to you than what your eyes see or your ears hear. That is the secret of true creation. That is how the bridge is crossed. Your thoughts may come and go, flickering like shadows, but your feelings, they carve paths in your being. They shape your posture, your tone, your energy. They tell the world who you believe you are, and the world listens. When you truly feel the reality of your desire fulfilled, the world begins to shift, quietly, invisibly, but inevitably. The bridge is crossed. The unseen becomes seen, not by chance, but by law. And all because you dared to feel it first. To assume the state of the wish fulfilled is to enter the realm where your desire is no longer a question but a fact. It is not something you are trying to achieve, it is something you already possess in the unseen world. You walk, speak, and feel from that reality, not toward it. This is the great secret. You are not to wait for the evidence to believe. You are to believe so fully, so completely, that the evidence has no choice but to appear. Living in the end is not a passive state of imagination. It is active. It is vivid. It is emotionally charged. It means that you stop thinking of your desire and begin thinking from it. There is a profound difference. Thinking of your desire still leaves it separate from you. It keeps it in the future, in a state of longing, of hope. But thinking from your desire is an act of inner acceptance. It means the desire has already been received in your imagination, and therefore it exists now in truth. Your imagination is not fiction. It is the first stage of creation. Everything you now see around you began as a thought, accepted as real by someone. A home, a painting, a piece of music, a business, a relationship, they all had to be imagined and believed in before they were seen. And so it is with your life. To change it, you do not wrestle with outer conditions. You withdraw your attention from what is and place it firmly upon what will be, as if it already is. You do not ask, when will it happen? That question only reveals doubt. You do not beg, you do not chase. You enter the scene mentally where your desire has already come true and you dwell there. You feel what you would feel if it were already done. You see yourself from the new perspective, and you repeat this inner experience until it hardens into fact. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined with feeling. It simply accepts what you feel to be true and brings it forth in your reality. This is why the inner assumption is so powerful. Once you assume a thing to be true, life rearranges itself to support that assumption. If you desire love, do not wait to be loved. Assume the state of being deeply loved now. Carry yourself with the ease, confidence, and softness of one who is adored. If you desire abundance, do not wait for the money to appear. Assume the state of one who always has enough, who feels secure, who is generous and grateful. That state is the seed. The feeling is the key. And once planted, it must grow. Do not be fooled by appearances. What you see with your eyes today is nothing but the echo of a previous state. If you wish to see a new world, you must first change the state within you. The external always mirrors the internal. You cannot live in lack inwardly and expect prosperity outwardly. You cannot feel lonely and call it love. The outer world is simply the shadow of your inner world. So the command is simple, though not always easy. Assume the state. If you were already the person you long to be, how would you walk? How would you talk? How would you rise in the morning and lie down at night? Begin there. Not tomorrow. Now. This is the doorway. Faith is not blind when it rests in imagination. It is a knowing. And once you know within yourself that a thing is true, it becomes your new center of being. Life must answer. You do not wait to be chosen. You already are. You do not ask for the promise. You already hold it. The state of the wish fulfilled is not a future hope. It is a present reality in the unseen. And once it is assumed, it must come forth. Because what you feel to be true with inner conviction becomes truth in your world. Imagination is not a mere fantasy. It is not a tool reserved for children or dreamers. It is in truth the first reality. Everything you now see around you, every object, every structure, every relationship, every circumstance, first existed in someone's imagination. It was conceived, felt, and believed before it ever found expression in the visible world. There is no other way creation happens. The outer world is simply the reflection of the inner world. What you dare to imagine, combined with feeling, becomes the foundation upon which your life is built. You may believe that reality is fixed, that the world happens to you, but this is not the truth. The world you encounter is shaped by the images you hold within. The true source of life's events is not in the physical, but in the unseen. Your imagination. It is the workshop of your soul. There in silence, without needing anything from the outside, you can begin the process of transformation. But imagination alone is not enough. You cannot merely think of a better life or visualize a new outcome in vague, detached pictures. For imagination to create, it must be alive with feeling. Emotion is what breathes life into the image. Feeling gives it form, texture, weight, and presence. Without feeling, imagination remains a shadow. With feeling, it becomes reality. Suppose you imagine yourself successful. You close your eyes and see yourself in a position of honor, abundance, and fulfillment. That is a good beginning, but if you do not feel it, If you do not allow the joy, pride, gratitude, or peace of that state to fill your body, then the image is only a sketch. It lacks the essence that makes it real to your subconscious. It will not plant deeply enough to take root. Your subconscious mind does not respond to words or vague ideas. It responds to the emotional charge behind the image. This is why it is not the one who imagines the most that creates the most. It is the one who imagines with feeling. When the inner experience becomes more vivid than the outer world, then change begins. Creation does not start in the future, it begins now within. The world does not first move and then you react. No, you move within and then the world follows. You carry the power of creation within you, always. There is no condition outside of you that is more powerful than your imagination filled with feeling. Do not wait for science. The sign is within you. If you can imagine a new life and feel it to be real, then you are already on the path to it. The outer world may not shift immediately, but do not be deceived by appearances. The seed has been planted, and all things brought into being must begin with the invisible. That is the law. Think of yourself as an artist of your reality. The mind provides the brush, the imagination the color, and the feeling. The feeling is the substance. It is the invisible clay that molds the future. If you desire love, feel loved. If you desire wealth, feel secure and abundant. Not later, but now. The feeling now is what creates the reality later. There is no limit to what you can imagine, and thus no limit to what you can create. But you must dare to enter the scene of your fulfilled desire and dwell there with emotion. Stay in the feeling. Revisit it until it feels familiar, until it feels natural. Then you will know that creation has begun. What you feel deeply in imagination will crystallize in your world. Imagination is not a preview. It is the act itself. Feel it fully, and the universe will conform. All things begin with an image, and the moment you believe in that image with feeling, the unseen becomes the seen. The principle that one cannot desire what one does not already possess finds its basis in the structure of human consciousness and the process of psychological projection. Empirical studies in cognitive science and behavioral psychology support the idea that desire is not arbitrary, but emerges from an internal recognition, conscious or unconscious, of a latent state. In this context, desire functions not as a signal of absence, but as evidence of a reality already contained within the individual's identity or mental framework. To understand this, consider how the brain identifies goals. Cognitive neuroscience has demonstrated that the prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for decision-making and planning, activates when individuals imagine or simulate future experiences. However, this simulation is based on existing neural patterns. The brain cannot fabricate something entirely unknown. Rather, it recombines known inputs into new configuration. Therefore, when a person desires something, be it success, love, health, or security, the desire reflects a configuration of internal data already present in some form. This is supported by the psychological construct of self-concept. Self-concept theory posits that individuals are drawn towards states that align with their perceived identity. In other words, a person who desires to be a leader likely has some internal model of leadership within their conceptual framework, either through personal traits, exposure, or internalized values. The desire is a reflection of an internalized potential, not an external vacancy. Data from developmental psychology show that early exposure and environment shape what individuals come to desire. A child raised around music may develop a strong desire to play an instrument. The desire, while seemingly external, is cultivated through repeated exposure and neural encoding. This pattern suggests that desire is evidence of internal possession, shaped, stored, and ready to be activated. In terms of phenomenological experience, the urge or longing for a particular outcome often emerges from a mental rehearsal of having already achieved or experienced that state. Mental imagery research confirms that visualizing a desired state engages the same neurological circuits as the actual experience. This overlap suggests that the brain does not differentiate sharply between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. Therefore, the desire is a byproduct of an inner experience that has already occurred at the sensory level. The principle is also evident in behavior economics, particularly in the concept of revealed preference. People's choices often reflect deeper desires they already possess internally. When an individual chooses to pursue a specific career, partner, or lifestyle, it is not merely in pursuit of something unknown. It is a manifestation of values, preferences, and psychological conditions already present. Thus, the act of desiring is an expression of existing internal content. From a logical standpoint, one cannot formulate a specific desire for something without having a conceptual or emotional reference point for it. For instance, an individual does not desire an abstract object with no known attributes. They desire a specific condition, peace, recognition, safety, because they already hold an internal definition and emotional resonance with that state. This aligns with the philosophical concept that desire is the memory of the future, an internal certainty projected forward in time. The emergence of desire is not indicative of a lack but of a latent ownership. It acts as confirmation of an internal resource, talent, or condition that is seeking external expression. Recognizing desire as evidence of possession reframes the way individuals relate to their goals, not as remote targets, but as extensions of what they already are. This model encourages alignment between inner belief and external action, underlining the foundational psychological truth that people do not move toward what they lack, but rather what they are already equipped to manifest. Emotion is not a fleeting reaction or a random storm of feelings. It is the language of the subconscious mind, the silent force that activates the inner world and commands the outer. While thought initiates direction, it is emotion that carries power. You may think endlessly about change, about wealth, about love, about healing, but unless you feel these truths within you, nothing truly moves. The subconscious, which governs nearly every aspect of your outer experience, responds only to emotion, not logic, not repetition alone, but the vibrational energy of what you deeply feel to be true. It is feeling that impresses upon the subconscious. Thought without feeling is sterile. You can repeat 1,000 affirmations, but if you say them mechanically without conviction or emotion, they pass like wind through the trees. The subconscious does not record words, it records states. And emotion is the stamp of your inner state. When you feel something deeply, you are telling your subconscious this is real, and the subconscious, unable to distinguish between what is outer fact and inner conviction, accepts it as true and moves all things to reflect it. This is why people who dwell in states of fear, anxiety, or lack continue to attract circumstances that match those emotions. It is not punishment, it is law. The emotional state you dwell in becomes the pattern the world must conform to. If you consistently feel unworthy, the world reflects it. If you feel poor, the world affirms it. But the opposite is also true. When you feel abundant, even without physical proof, the world must begin to reflect abundance. When you feel loved, even in solitude, love begins to make its way to you. There is no delay in the language of emotion. What you feel now is creating your tomorrow. Emotion is not a reaction to what happens. It is the cause of what happens. The world is your mirror, and the image it reflects is shaped by the emotional vibration you offer. If you want to change the image, you must change the feeling. It is not enough to wait for conditions to change so you can feel better. That is backward. You must feel better so the conditions can change. This is the secret that many overlook. They try to think their way into a new life. They read, they plan, they speak, but their hearts remain in the same emotional state. They are still worried, still doubtful, still afraid. And the subconscious, obedient and precise, continues to manifest a world that matches the dominant emotional climate. It is not thought alone that moves mountains. It is thought married to feeling. When you think abundance and feel it, when you think love and feel it, when you think healing and feel it, then the creative process is set into motion. The subconscious is always listening, but it hears only feeling, and not brief surface level feeling, but the deep, habitual emotion that you return to day after day. What you feel persistently is what you become. That is why guarding your emotional state is the highest form of self-mastery. You must treat your feelings like sacred instruments. Tune them to what you want, not to what you fear. If you want peace, feel peace. If you want joy, feel joy now, not later, now. The present feeling is the seed of future experience. And you can train this. Emotion is not beyond your control. You can, through imagination, assume the feeling of your desired state and dwell in it. Close your eyes and feel what it would be like if your dream were real. Not just see it, feel it. How would you walk? What would your inner atmosphere be? Dwell there. Let that emotion rise and spread. In that moment you are creating, you are activating the inner world, and the outer world has no choice but to respond. Motion is the key, the activator, the engine of transformation. To change your world, change your inner vibration. Do not wait, begin now. Feel differently, and the world will follow. You do not become what you want. You become what you accept as true. This is the secret that governs the seen and the unseen. It is not the loudness of your desire that determines its manifestation, but the quiet conviction that what you seek is already yours. The world around you is plastic to your inner assumptions. It bends, shifts, and aligns itself to what you believe, not superficially, but deeply, emotionally, and persistently. Assumption is not daydreaming. It is not idle wishing. Assumption is a conscious choice to occupy a state of being before you have physical evidence. It is saying, I am, and refusing to contradict it with, I hope, or maybe someday. The moment you accept something as true without needing proof, without needing permission, you begin to embody it. And once you embody it, your world must follow. The law is clear. The inner shapes the outer. The unseen precedes the seen. And your assumption is the blueprint the universe follows. Now, most people live their lives assuming things they do not want. They assume they are unlucky, that things never work out for them, that abundance is reserved for others. And they are not wrong. They are simply unconscious creators. The world does not reward desire, it rewards belief. If someone believes deeply that life is difficult, the world will echo it. If another believes life is effortless and kind, that too becomes their experience. What you consistently accept as true becomes law in your reality. Your assumptions speak to the subconscious mind, which does not question or reason. It receives your inner state as instruction and moves in the direction you have set. If you assume you are loved, you begin to act, speak, and carry yourself differently. Your energy changes and people respond to it. If you assume wealth, you begin to make decisions that match that frequency. Opportunities arise not because they were not there before, but because now you are aligned to see and receive them. The beauty of this principle is that you do not need to wait. You do not need the world to show you evidence before you believe. You need only believe. and the world must conform. The power lies within you right now. Your circumstances do not matter. They are echoes of old assumptions. You can change everything by changing what you accept as true. But this requires persistence. It is not a one-time declaration. It is the daily embodiment. You must live in the state of your assumption as if it were already fact. Walk as the person you wish to be. Speak from the end, not the middle. Do not explain your way out of your desire. Do not entertain doubt under the guise of being realistic. Reality as you know it is only the outpicturing of your inner states. Change the inner, and the outer must follow. You must feel the truth of your assumption so vividly that it becomes more real to you than the facts in front of you. Facts change, assumptions remain, until replaced. A man in rags who assumes himself to be wealthy will not remain in rags for long. A woman who assumes herself to be radiant and loved will not remain invisible. Your assumption is your seed. Nourish it with feeling, persistence, and inner attention, and it will bloom into form. Nothing stands between you and the life you desire except your belief that it is not yet yours. Once you drop that belief, once you claim the end with full heart and mind, everything begins to shift. Life reorganizes itself to fit the new truth you have accepted. It is not magic, it is law. You become what you accept as true. Choose wisely, assume boldly, live faithfully in your new state, and the world will mirror it without fail. This profound truth: your inner world is the architect of your outer reality. The assumptions you hold, the feelings you nurture, and the beliefs you accept shape every experience you encounter. You are not merely a passive observer of life, but an active creator, empowered to mold your world from within. When you truly embody your desires as if they are already fulfilled, when your feelings resonate deeply with your vision, the universe has no choice but to respond. This is the power you carry. The power to transform, to manifest, and to live as the highest expression of your being. Thank you for allowing me to share this with you today. May you walk forward with the certainty that what you assume and feel as true is already yours. Embrace that truth and watch your life unfold in miraculous ways. You do not need to try hard. You only need to believe inwardly and then let go. The moment you rest in the assumption that your desire is already yours, you align with the force that shapes all things. So many of us have been taught to chase, to strive, to push. But desire is not granted through effort. It is made real through acceptance. When you say, "It is done," and feel the truth of that within yourself, reality begins to obey. Relax. Let your mind grow still. For it is not in chaos that worlds are made, but in the quiet certainty of belief. When you relax, you move from the outer world to the inner sanctuary. It is there that creation begins. And what you hold in your inner world, if held with feeling, must externalize. Even the impossible? Yes, especially the impossible. Because what you call impossible is simply what your senses cannot yet grasp. But your imagination is not limited by the five senses. It sees beyond. And when you accept a thing as real in imagination, you give it permission to enter your world. Allow. That is the sacred word, allow. The desire to live in you as if it were already complete. Feel the peace of it. Walk as if it has already come to pass. And without force, without stress, it will emerge from the unseen into the seen. Stop looking for signs. Stop doubting the process. The seed does not beg to grow. It grows because it was planted. So plant your seed and trust. If you can feel it real, you will live it. If you can see it within, it will show itself without. This is not magic, it is law. You are not here to struggle. You are here to remember your power. And your power lies not in how much you do, but in how deeply you believe and how peacefully you allow. So I say once more, relax and allow. Even the impossible will manifest. Because nothing is denied to the one who claims it inwardly and walks as though it is already so. Let it be done in you, and watch what was once impossible bow to your inner certainty. Imagination is not a fantasy. It is not make-believe. It is the womb of creation, the silent architect behind every form and circumstance you see around you. The world you call reality is simply the outpictured reflection of your inner imaginal acts. Those persistent thoughts and emotional convictions you entertain, knowingly or unknowingly, in the quiet chambers of your mind. Everything begins in imagination. Before a house is built, it exists in the mind of the architect. Before a book is published, it lives in the writer's vision. Before love is experienced outwardly, it is first felt inwardly. The world you experience is not separate from you. It is you pushed out. It mirrors your assumptions, your beliefs, and most importantly, your felt imagination. You may believe that your thoughts are fleeting, disconnected from the material world. But what you do not realize is that what you vividly imagine and emotionally accept begins to take root, just like a seed dropped into fertile soil. Your emotions water it. Your belief gives it warmth. And soon enough, what was once only a thought takes form and becomes your lived reality. This is not theory. This is law. If you persist in imagining yourself as poor, unwanted, or limited, life will obligingly wrap itself around those convictions. Not because the world is cruel, but because you are creating unconsciously. The outer world, though seemingly solid, is not fixed. It is clay in your hands. And imagination is the sculptor. You may say, but I want wealth, I want love, I want freedom. Wanting is not enough. You must become what you seek, not by effort, but by feeling, by imagining it vividly, by entering the state of the wish fulfilled and resting there, not for a moment, but until that state becomes natural to you. What does it mean to feel something as real? It means to close your eyes and not merely see, but live within your desire. To walk in that new version of yourself, hear its sounds, feel its texture, breathe its air. The mind does not distinguish between reality and a deeply felt imagination. It accepts what you feel to be true. And once it is accepted, life reorganizes itself to reflect that new belief. This is why people can change their circumstances without changing their actions, because a change was made inwardly first. Reality must follow the blueprint you hold within. You are never at the mercy of facts, because facts can change, and they do change once the inner assumption changes. The truth settles in you. Imagination is the first cause, not effort, not hustle, not even time. Imagination, when accepted with conviction, bends time, reshapes conditions, and overrides limitations. It is through imagination that miracles occur, not because the laws of the universe are broken, but because you finally aligned with your true creative power. You do not need to ask how it will happen. That is not your part. Your part is to feel it real, to persist in the assumption that it is already so, to refuse the evidence of the senses and instead walk by faith in your imaginal act. The longer you remain faithful to it, the sooner it will become externalized. Your current life is a harvest of past imaginations. If you want to change the harvest, plant different seeds. Imagine differently, feel differently, accept a new truth for yourself, and do it with joy, not strain. Creation is meant to be a gentle unfolding, not a battle. So go within, begin there. See with the eye of imagination, live there, and you will soon find that the world outside has no choice but to yield to the world within. Effort, as most people understand it, is the attempt to force reality into submission. It is the frantic action born of fear, of doubt, of not believing that what you desire is already yours. But effort in this sense is resistance in disguise. It looks like progress, it feels like movement, but beneath the surface it whispers, I do not yet believe. And so the very thing you're trying to attract stays away, not because it is being denied, but because you are still denying it within yourself. True manifestation is never born from struggle, it flows silently and powerfully from a place of inner knowing. When you assume your desire is already fulfilled, when you rest in the feeling of it having already come to pass, you are no longer striving. You are allowing. You become the vessel through which unseen things move into the seen. You are no longer grasping, you are receiving. This does not mean you become passive, but it does mean you abandon the frantic need to control. You stop chasing, persuading, begging, or pushing. You begin to assume your place in the state of the wish fulfilled. And from that state, your actions become inspired, calm, and certain. You move from being a victim of circumstance to the silent cause of it. You cannot manifest what you are still resisting, and resistance often hides behind noble disguises. Working harder, thinking more, planning obsessively, trying to make it happen. But all of these stem from the same root, lack of belief that it already is. If you truly believed you were already what you desired to be, would you still be trying so hard? Or would you simply walk in that new identity, relaxed, confident, expectant? Manifestation is not the reward for effort. It is the result of alignment. When you align your thoughts, feelings, and assumptions with the version of you that already has what you desire, the path unfolds without strain. You are not forcing doors to open. You are walking through doors that are already yours. Effort says, I must change the outer world to feel better inside. Allowing says, I change my inner world and the outer must follow. This is not laziness. It is wisdom. When you stop trying and start assuming, a deep shift occurs within you. You stop treating your desire as something distant, something out there to be hunted down. You begin to live in the present moment as if your desire were already complete. And from that state, life begins to reflect your inner change. The one who rests in faith does not panic when evidence seems contrary. They do not look for proof in the outer world. They already have it in the inner world of their imagination. That inner proof is all that matters. The outer will catch up. It always does. You may be tempted to hustle, to push, to go back to the old ways of forcing things into place. But pause. Ask yourself, am I doing this because I believe it's already mine, or because I'm still trying to get it? That simple question will reveal whether you're aligned or resisting. Assuming and allowing is not about being careless, it is about being conscious. You are no longer asleep in fear, reacting to everything outside of you. You are awake to the truth that your world mirrors your inner state. You are no longer at war with your circumstances. You are above them, shaping them through unseen currents of imagination and feeling. Let go of effort. Let go of resistance. Enter the state of the wish fulfilled and dwell there in peace. The impossible becomes natural when you stop trying and start knowing. What you assume and allow, you will inevitably experience, because it was yours all along. The impossible is only the unfamiliar. That which seems unreachable, unattainable, or too extraordinary to believe is not truly out of your grasp. It is simply not yet known to your inner world. What you call impossible has not been felt, not been accepted, not been assumed as part of your identity, and until you accept it within, it cannot appear without. Every breakthrough that has ever occurred in this world, every invention, every moment of triumph, every transformation was once considered impossible, yet it came to pass. Not by accident, but because someone dared to accept it as real before the world could see it. They imagined it, believed in it, and lived in the end of it long before others could understand it. You may look at your life and see limits. You may point to your background, your circumstances, your past failures, but none of these are barriers, except the ones you have accepted as true. The real boundary lies in your imagination. If something seems impossible, it is only because you have not yet made it familiar. You have not yet stepped into it in consciousness and made it home. The mind clings to the known. It prefers safety, predictability, and repetition. It resists what it has not yet experienced. But your imagination is not bound by your past. It is the doorway to worlds you've never touched, timelines you've never lived, and versions of yourself you've yet to embody. The moment you begin to accept the so-called impossible as your truth, genuinely, emotionally, and without contradiction, you invite the unfamiliar into form. What you continue to label as impossible, you keep at a distance. You treat it as something outside of yourself, something only others can achieve, something only special people are allowed to experience. But the truth is far more empowering. The only thing separating you from your desire is your unwillingness to claim it within. Impossibility lives in the intellect. It is a calculation based on evidence, history, logic, and facts. But manifestation is not born from the intellect. It is born from the heart, from the deep inner knowing that the unseen is more real than what you can touch. You do not create by proving or by effort. You create by feeling it done and trusting that your inner acceptance will take shape in due time. Once you familiarize yourself with the new state of being, once you live in the imagination as the person who already has what you desire, it no longer feels impossible. It begins to feel natural. And when something feels natural, life bends to match it. What once seemed like a miracle becomes your new normal. Consider the things in your life now that once felt unreachable. At one point, you may have longed for love, stability, or peace. And now perhaps you live in it so comfortably that you've forgotten you once doubted it. This is the pattern of creation. What feels impossible now will one day feel obvious if you are bold enough to accept it before it arrives. The secret is not to wait for evidence. It is to become the evidence in your inner world. Walk as if it is already yours. Think from the end. See through the eyes of fulfillment, not longing. This is not delusion, it is faith. And faith is not hoping. Faith is knowing. Do not fear the unfamiliar. Do not be intimidated by the vastness of your desires. They are not too big for you. They are calling you to expand, to grow into your higher self, to claim what has always been yours in potential. The impossible is not fixed. It is only a state of consciousness you have yet to occupy. The moment you decide to accept it, embody it, and live from it, everything changes. What was once impossible becomes inevitable. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the secret doorway. It is the invisible passage between the world as it is and the world as you desire it to be. Most walk through life believing that they must first see change in their outer world before they are allowed to feel differently within. But the truth is exactly the opposite. Change begins within. And the key to that change, the very key that unlocks the unseen, is feeling. Truly feel now what you wish to experience later is to draw it into the present. You are not waiting for the external world to confirm your desire. You are confirming it in your own consciousness. The moment you feel it, the moment you dwell in the emotion of already having it, you begin to create the conditions through which it must appear. This is not about pretending. This is not about daydreaming or fantasizing without substance. This is about becoming. You become the person who has it. Now, you think from the end, not of it. You feel from the state of already being the one you desire to be. Not hoping, not begging, but knowing. Feeling is the language of creation. It is the vibration, the signal, the energy that communicates with the unseen intelligence that shapes all things. You may speak words, write affirmations, or take action, but if the feeling contradicts the desire, the results will mirror the feeling. The world does not respond to your wishes. It responds to your inner state. So when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, when you close your eyes and step into the scene where all is done, and you let yourself feel the joy, the peace, the confidence, the relief, you are entering a new reality. It may not yet be visible to the eyes, but it is real. It is already being shaped by your acceptance of it. Outer appearances are deceiving. They are echoes of past thoughts, past assumptions, past feelings. Do not be fooled into thinking they have power over what comes next. They are simply shadows. The substance is within you. And when you change the feeling, you change the future. This is why so many remain stuck. They continue to observe the outer world and allow it to dictate how they feel. But this only recreates the same experiences over and over. To shift your life, you must reverse the process. Begin with the feeling. Sustain it, protect it, and the outer world must eventually conform. It does not matter how impossible it seems. It does not matter how far away the desire appears. If you can feel it, you can manifest it. If you can dwell in it, live from it, even for a few moments each day, you are watering the seed of your new reality. And just as the seed grows in silence beneath the soil, your desire takes root in the unseen and moves toward visibility. You are not waiting on time, you are not waiting on others. You are only waiting for your own inner acceptance. The moment you accept it emotionally, the door opens. This is the secret doorway. It does not open through force or pleading, it opens through alignment, through the feeling of already being there. And when you walk through that door in consciousness, you don't need to worry about the how. The bridge of incidents will form. The people, the circumstances, the ideas will come. They are drawn to you not by chance, but by resonance. Your feeling is the magnet, and reality bends to meet it. So feel now, smile now, breathe now, as the person who already has it. Your feeling is the act of creation. Let the world catch up. It always does. It catches them up. Relaxation is the atmosphere of creation. It is in stillness, not strain, that your deepest desires take root and begin to unfold. Most have been conditioned to believe that only effort brings results, that without struggle nothing of value can emerge. But creation does not arise from tension. It does not spring forth from anxiety or panic. True creation flows from a place of deep inner ease, where the mind is quiet, the heart is open, and the soul is in harmony with the unseen. In relaxation, you let go of control. You stop trying to force outcomes and instead allow yourself to be guided by a higher rhythm. This is not passivity, it is receptivity. You become a clear vessel through which the infinite expresses itself. When you are tense, hurried, or restless, your energy is scattered. You are cut off from the very source that brings your desire into being. But when you enter stillness, you return to your natural power. You align with the creative current that is always flowing beneath the noise of the world. The seed of desire does not grow in hardened soil. It must be planted in the soft, fertile ground of calm acceptance. This is why inner peace is not a luxury, it is the foundation of manifestation. When you relax, you are signaling that you trust. You are showing that you believe in the unseen, that you know your desire is already working its way to you. Fear clenches, faith loosens, anxiety builds walls. Relaxation opens doors. Do not mistake this for indifference. To be relaxed is not to be disinterested. It is to be so sure of the outcome that you no longer need to push. You no longer need to strive or convince or beg. You allow, you receive, you rest in the knowing that what is yours cannot be lost. And what you have imagined has already begun its journey to you. This state of quiet expectancy is where miracles occur. Not in noise, not in desperation, but in silence. In those moments when you detach from the chaos of the external and sink into the stillness within, you are aligning with your true creative power. Your subconscious mind, which governs your reality, is most impressionable in states of calm. When you are relaxed, suggestions are received easily. New assumptions take root. New realities begin to form beneath the surface. This is why practices like meditation, visualization, and intentional rest are so powerful, not because they make something happen, but because they clear the space for what is already happening to rise into form. They calm the noise of doubt and make room for faith. They quiet the struggle and awaken the truth that everything is unfolding as it should. Your desires become real to you. You see them clearly. You feel them deeply. You embody the end result, not in some distant future, but now. And in that present moment, you create the conditions for their physical arrival. The outer world may not shift immediately, but the inner shift is the true creation. The rest is merely the unfolding. So let yourself rest. Let yourself breathe. Let yourself believe without effort. Nothing of true value is forced. All that is beautiful, lasting, and meaningful grows in silence first. The oak tree begins as a silent seed. The dawn breaks without noise. So too does your desire. Trust the stillness. In it, everything is working for you. In relaxation, you are not doing nothing. You are doing the most important work of all, receiving, aligning, becoming, and from that state, all things are made possible. An inner conviction bends reality. It is not effort nor constant action that shapes the world around you. It is the certainty you carry within. When you know something as true in your core, when you assume it with unwavering belief, it begins to mold the circumstances of your life to reflect that truth. Conviction is not a mental trick. It is the quiet, immovable knowing that what you desire is already yours, and it is from that place of inner assurance that the outer world yields. You do not chase what is yours. Chasing implies lack. It suggests that what you desire is separate from you, far away, out of reach. But what if you stopped chasing and started assuming? What if you accepted, in the deepest part of yourself, that what you long for is already done, already created, already moving toward you? That is the posture of power. Not desperation, but calm expectation. Not hoping. The world responds not to your words, not to your effort, but to the state you occupy within. If you see yourself as one who already has it, already is it, already lives it, the world bends to meet you there. It has no choice. It is a mirror reflecting your dominant inner state. This is why you must stop looking outside for confirmation. You are not waiting for the world to tell you it's done. The world is waiting for you to declare it so. When you assume it is done, you stop questioning. You stop wondering when or how. You drop the worry, the anxiety, the need to see immediate evidence. You move through your day with the inner poise of someone who already knows. You carry yourself differently. You think differently. You speak differently, not out of arrogance, but out of alignment. Conviction is not loud. It is not boastful. It is quiet and certain. It is the energy of a person who has placed their order and no longer checks the kitchen to see if it's being made. They trust the process. They trust the power within. They understand that reality is not a fixed structure, but a fluid expression of consciousness. And they are the one directing it. You have done this before, even if unconsciously. You have believed something so deeply that it became real. Perhaps it was fear. Perhaps it was doubt. And life reflected that belief perfectly. But when you reverse the current, when you replace fear with faith, doubt with certainty, everything begins to shift. Not because the world is changing you, but because you are changing the world through your assumption. This is why inner work is the only true work. Outer action can be helpful, but without inner conviction it is hollow. You can strive endlessly and achieve little, or you can assume quietly, confidently, and watch as life rearranges itself to honor your belief. You do not need to manipulate, persuade, or struggle. You only need to live as though it is already so. So, stop seeking, stop reaching, start remembering. Start embodying. Ask yourself, what would I think, feel, and do if I already had it? And begin to think, feel, and do that now, not later, not when something changes. Now, because that is the moment of power. That is the creative point from which everything flows. Reality is more malleable than you've been told. It bends not to force, but to faith. Not to worry, but to assumption. And the one who walks in the conviction that all is done, that all is well, will see a world that reflects exactly that. Let your inner world lead. The rest will follow. And so, let this truth settle deeply within you. You are not here to chase, to struggle, or to prove. You are here to assume, to feel, to relax, and to know. Reality is shaped not by noise, but by stillness, not by force, but by faith. The impossible becomes inevitable when you embrace it in your imagination and accept it in your heart. There is no need to try harder, only to trust deeper. What you feel as done becomes done. Live from the end. Walk in the assumption. Rest in the knowing. Everything you seek is already seeking you. All things are unfolding through the power of your inner conviction. Thank you for walking this path of remembrance. Thank you for choosing faith over fear, imagination over limitation, and stillness over struggle. Now go, not to do more, but to be more, to embody your wish fulfilled, and watch as your world transforms accordingly. There is a power within you greater than any circumstance. It is not physical strength. It is not willpower. It is faith. Faith is the inner knowing that what you have imagined, what you have desired is already yours. It is not the hope that something might come to pass. It is the confidence that it already has. The world will tell you to work harder, chase more, strive endlessly. But the truth is, you are not here to chase. You are here to receive. And the key that unlocks that reception is faith. Imagine the life you wish to live. Feel it, not as something far away, but as something already done. That feeling, that inner conviction is your act of faith. That is your miracle seed. Do not concern yourself with the how. Miracles do not operate under logic, they bend to belief. When you persist in the assumption that what you desire is already yours, the world must conform. The seen rearranges to match the unseen. You don't wait for a sign, you are the sign. Walk as though it's already done, speak as though it's already done. Think, feel, breathe as though you are already living in the answered prayer. Because you are. There is no power in begging the world to give you what you have not first accepted inwardly. But when you say yes with your soul, yes with your spirit, the universe bows in agreement. Creation responds to conviction. Miracles are not rare, they are natural. They are the laws of the higher realm operating through faith. The only question is, are you willing to believe before you see? If your answer is yes, then I tell you now, it is done. Believe and you shall receive. What you do not yet see in your world already exists within you. The longing you feel, the image you quietly hold in your imagination, the quiet hope that sometimes whispers louder than reason, all of it is not fantasy, but the echo of what is already prepared for you. Faith is not the creation of something new. It is the recognition of what already is. There is a world unseen, a world within, more real than what you touch with your hands or measure with your eyes. All things spring first from this invisible realm. Before the house, the idea of the house. Before the healed body, the vision of health. Before the relationship, the feeling of love. Before anything can take form outside, it must be accepted as real inside. Faith is the bridge between that inner acceptance and the outer manifestation. You are never meant to live only by what you see. To do so is to become bound by limitation. The visible world is merely the harvest of past beliefs, past assumptions, past states of being. Faith calls you to something deeper. It invites you to move beyond the senses and step boldly into the unseen. Not to wish, not to beg, not to plead, but to know. And in that knowing, to receive. You do not need permission from the world to believe in what has not yet appeared. The world will often tell you it is foolish. It will point to circumstances, limitations, facts, and evidence. But what the world cannot see is what you carry within. And that inner reality is more powerful than any condition, any obstacle, any delay. What you hold with faith will override what you see with fear. Faith is not blind, it is not naive, it is deeply aware, so aware of the truth within that it no longer bows to the illusion outside. When you walk by faith, you walk in alignment with a law higher than logic, a law that says all things are possible to the one who believes. You don't chase after your desires, you become the one who already has them. You shift inwardly, you take on the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and you persist. What is real to you inwardly must eventually become real to you outwardly. This is the law. The outer mirrors the inner. The world is your reflection. And faith is how you speak to the mirror, not with words, but with conviction. You are not separate from what you seek. You are one with it. And faith is the bridge that reminds you. It carries you over the waters of doubt, the winds of delay and the fog of confusion. It keeps you steady when nothing else seems to move. Faith sees the end from the beginning. And because it sees the end, it knows how to rest, not because it is passive, but because it is sure. So, hold fast. The invisible is not empty. It is pregnant with all that your heart desires. Believe in it, dwell in it, walk toward it, because what you do not yet see in your world is already alive in you, and faith will bring it forth. Imagination is the beginning of all things. Before anything is made visible in this world, it is first seen in the mind, felt in the heart, and accepted in the spirit. To imagine is to touch the invisible and bring it into focus. It is the first movement of faith, the sacred act of creation that takes place within. When you dare to imagine something different from your current reality and accept it as real, you have already begun the process of transformation. Imagination is not idle fantasy. It is not daydreaming without power. True imagination, fueled by belief and feeling, is the most creative force in existence. It is through imagination that you choose the state you wish to dwell in. It is how you rise above what the senses report and step into a world that has not yet formed, but surely will. To see with the inner eyes, to live beyond appearances. It is to close your physical eyes and open the eye of the spirit, the eye that sees not what is, but what can be. Every great change in a person's life begins here, not in effort, not in struggle, but in vision. The clearer the vision, the stronger the faith, and the stronger the faith, the faster the world conforms. You are always imagining, whether you are aware of it or not. The question is, are you imagining what you desire or what you fear? Most people unconsciously imagine worst-case scenarios. They rehearse defeat in their minds, worry about outcomes, and then wonder why life reflects that back to them. But the moment you take control of this inner faculty and use it deliberately, you become the author of your life. You begin to create consciously. Feeling is what gives imagination its power. To simply see something in the mind is not enough. You must feel it as though it were happening now. When the imagined scene stirs emotion within you, when it causes you to smile, to relax, to feel gratitude or joy, that is when faith is activated. That is when the seed is planted. And once a seed is planted in the rich soil of belief, it must grow. Imagination is your divine tool. Through it, you design the life you desire. You are not limited by your past, your surroundings, or your present circumstances. What appears to be fixed is only temporary. It will yield to your inner reality. When you return again and again to the vision of your fulfilled desire and feel it to be real, you are exercising faith in its purest form. You must make your imagination more real to you than your current conditions. You must walk in the feeling of the answered prayer, live in the end result, and persist there, regardless of appearances. It is not pretending, it is believing. It is not escape, it is creation. Everything you desire is already finished in the unseen. Imagination is the doorway through which you claim it. When you see clearly within and feel it deeply, the world cannot help but reflect it. This is the law. This is the truth. Imagination is the first act of faith, and with it you move mountains without lifting a finger. Miracles do not respond to effort. They do not come because of strain, struggle, or desperation. They arrive quietly, powerfully, through a deeper channel, through feeling. Feeling is the secret doorway through which the invisible becomes visible. It is the key to unlocking the life you long for, not by chasing it, but by receiving it inwardly first. Everything in your world reflects the state you dwell in. And the state is not just a thought. It is a feeling. It is the emotional atmosphere that surrounds your inner being. When you feel lack, life responds with more reasons to feel empty. But when you feel fulfilled, when you feel loved, healed, whole, then the world mirrors that back to you. Not instantly, perhaps, but inevitably. This is why the act of creation begins with inner acceptance. You must first accept the thing you want as already yours. Not in a future that's always just beyond reach, but now. You must rise above the facts of the senses and step into the truth of your inner conviction. Can you feel yourself already living the life you desire? Can you taste the joy, the peace, the success of it? If you can, then you are closer to the miracle than you know. Most people make the mistake of thinking they must do something to make their desire happen, but miracles are not forced. They are not willed into existence through panic or performance. They are received. They flow naturally when you align your inner world with the reality you seek. Feeling is how you do that. To feel the reality of your desire is not to pretend, it is not to fake it. It is to consciously shift into the state of already having, already being. The moment you stop asking, when will it come, and start living as if it already has, you walk through the doorway. This is the mystery the world has missed. You don't beg for blessings. You become the version of you that already has them. Everything in your life flows from the state you dwell in. If you want to see a new reality, you must first feel differently. You must enter into the scene of your wish fulfilled and dwell there in thought and in emotion. Don't just visualize it, feel it. Let the scene become so vivid, so real within you that your heart responds. When you feel the joy of already having, when you feel the love of already receiving, that is when the miracle begins to move. This is not something you do once and forget. It is a way of living. You return to the feeling again and again until it becomes your dwelling place, until it becomes more natural to feel abundance than lack, more natural to feel peace than anxiety. Then your outer world, which is only a reflection, must catch up. Feeling is the secret doorway because it bypasses resistance. It bypasses logic. It goes straight to the heart of creation. The universe speaks in feeling. So if you truly want to change your life, don't force it. Feel it. Receive the miracle by becoming the one who already holds it. Let it be real within, and it must be revealed without. Doubt is the silent thief of every dream. It creeps in softly, questioning, second-guessing, interrupting the flow of faith with whispers of fear and hesitation. And the moment you give it your attention, you pull yourself back into limitation. You return to the world of what is and abandon the power of what will be. This is the reason so many prayers go unanswered, not because the desire was too great, but because the faith was too small. Doubt delays, but faith always delivers. To have faith is not to pretend everything is perfect. It is to know deep within that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Faith is not blind. It is the clearest sight you will ever have. It sees what the eyes cannot see. It holds fast when the senses scream the opposite. It is the calm within the storm, the stillness in the waiting. Faith is not hoping, it is knowing. It is surrender, but with certainty. When you plant a seed in the ground, you do not dig it up each morning to check if it's growing. You trust the process. You water it, nurture it, and wait with expectation. This is how faith works. You plant the seed of desire in your imagination, feel it as already done, and then rest in the assurance that it is being fulfilled. Doubt comes when you stop trusting and start questioning the unseen process. It is like tugging on the seedling, wondering why it has not yet broken the surface. Your job is not to figure out how the desire will come. Your job is to remain in the state of fulfillment, knowing that what is yours cannot miss you. You are not required to chase or force. You are only required to remain. Remain in the feeling of it already being done. Remain in the joy, the peace, the gratitude that it brings. Remain in the end. That is faith. Every time you doubt, you step out of the state of fulfillment and back into the state of longing. You become the person who does not have and therefore cannot receive. But when you hold firm to your inner conviction, despite appearances, despite delay, you become the one who already has, and the world must conform to that. Faith is alignment. It is harmony with the highest version of yourself. It does not push, it attracts. It does not beg, it commands. Quietly, peacefully, unshakably. And in that still confidence, miracles are made manifest. The moment you feel the urge to worry, to rush, to question, pause. Return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. See it in your mind's eye. Feel it in your heart. Say to yourself, it is done. Because in the unseen, it already is. And what is real within must become real without. Faith delivers because it creates the atmosphere for the unseen to become seen. It lifts you above the noise of fear and places you in the flow of divine timing. Doubt delays because it denies the power within. Faith, on the other hand, is your agreement with the highest truth, that all things are possible to the one who believes. So believe, remain, and receive. To assume the wish fulfilled is to enter into a sacred agreement with the unseen. It is to step into the end before any sign of it appears. This is not imagination as fantasy, it is imagination as reality. When you assume the feeling of your desire already fulfilled, you become one with it. You no longer ask if it will come or when it will arrive. You dwell in the knowing that it is now within you, as sure and certain as the ground beneath your feet. This is the law of creation. Whatever state you occupy within must be expressed without. The outer world is simply a reflection of the inner world. It is not separate from you, it is responding to you. When you change your state, your world begins to rearrange itself to match that new vibration. But most people wait for the world to change before they change within. They wait for evidence to believe, yet the evidence only comes after belief. You must live in the state of the answered prayer, not visit it occasionally, not speak of it with doubt, but dwell there emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. To dwell means to remain, to reside, to make it your home. It becomes your dominant state, your natural assumption. You do not check for signs every hour. You do not measure its progress. You live as though it were already true. You think from it, feel from it, speak from it, and act from it. And because of this, it must come to pass. This is not pretending, it is aligning. You are not faking a future. You are claiming a truth that already exists in the unseen. You are saying yes to it, allowing it, embracing it as your own. In doing so, you bypass the resistance of how and when and enter the effortless flow of now. Emotion is the secret ingredient. When you feel the joy of already having what you once desired, you send a powerful signal into the field of creation. You become a magnet for the experience. And the more real that feeling becomes to you, the faster the world begins to respond. Thoughts alone do not change reality. It is the feeling behind the thoughts that impresses the subconscious and shapes your life. That is why it is not enough to merely affirm your desire. You must feel it as done. You must rise into the atmosphere of fulfillment and stay there. And when your mind wanders back to doubt or lack, you gently return again and again until the feeling of the wish fulfilled becomes more familiar than the memory of not having it. You are not bound by circumstances. You are not defined by what has been. You are the creator of your state and therefore the creator of your experience. All things are possible to the one who dares to assume, who refuses to waver, and who remains loyal to the unseen reality within. Assume the wish fulfilled, and it must be so. Not because the world grants it to you, but because you are it. You are the fulfillment walking in form, and as you live from that truth, the world will echo it back to you in ways that appear miraculous, but are in fact inevitable. Faith is not a weak hope, nor a desperate plea whispered into the night. Faith is power. It is law. It is the invisible force that shapes visible form. When you believe, not just with your words, but with your being, with your entire consciousness, the universe has no choice but to respond. It does not resist. It does not delay. It rearranges itself to honor that belief, for faith is the signal that creation listens to. You do not receive what you want, you receive what you are. And faith is the state of being that declares, I already have it, it is mine. Not as a performance, not as a wish, but as an inner truth so alive and so complete that it cannot be denied. This is why faith is the law that answers all requests. It is not something external you must chase or summon. It is the alignment of your inner world with the reality you wish to experience. The moment you believe something fully, you collapse time. The waiting ends inwardly, and because you no longer wait, you create. The future becomes the present in consciousness. You no longer beg for change, you embody it. And this embodiment, this deep felt knowing, is what causes mountains to move, conditions to bend, and paths to open. The universe does not respond to scattered thoughts or half-hearted declarations. It responds to the certainty of being. To believe means to inhabit the truth of your desire even when nothing in the physical world confirms it, especially then, for that is when your faith speaks the loudest. To continue to believe in the face of contradiction is to rise above the laws of matter and step into the higher law of spirit, where all things are possible. Faith is not the absence of action, but inspired alignment. It guides you into doing not from fear or urgency, but from inner knowing. You no longer act to make things happen, you act because they already have. The steps you take are no longer forced, they are natural movements, flowing from your assumed reality. You see, the world is a mirror. It does not create, it reflects. So when you believe deeply, wholly, and consistently, the mirror must show you what you carry within. This is why so many remain stuck. Not because their desires are wrong, but because their faith is unstable. One moment they believe, the next they doubt. They plant a seed and dig it up. They shift from having to lacking, from confidence to fear. And so the reflection stays blurred, uncertain, incomplete. But when you stabilize in faith, when you no longer waver, when you remain loyal to the unseen reality, something profound begins to occur. People, events, and circumstances move. Doors open, opportunities arise. What once seemed impossible becomes ordinary, not through effort, but through alignment. Faith is the law that answers all requests because it places you in the frequency of fulfillment. It says, I am one with my desire, and the world, being obedient, mirrors back that union. You need not scream your wishes to the sky. You only need to believe with your being, feel with your soul, and live as if it were already so. When you do, nothing is withheld. All things bend to the one who walks in faith. In the end, remember this profound truth. Your faith is the creative power within you. It is the force that bridges the invisible with the seen, the imagined with the real. When you believe fully, body, mind, and spirit, you unlock the flow of miracles into your life. Doubt may delay, but faith delivers. Assume the wish fulfilled, dwell in that state, and watch as the universe rearranges itself in your favor. This is not magic. It is the natural law of creation working through you. So stand firm, trust deeply, and receive without hesitation, for all that you desire is already yours. Thank you for opening your heart and mind to this truth. May your faith be unwavering, and may your life be filled with miracles beyond measure.